Welcome to Buenos Finds, where we feature entrepreneurs who are making a wellness and sustainable impact around the globe. I believe in supporting companies who are transparent and who are environmentally conscious. With that being said, I'm excited to bring our guest, Ben Cassiman, who is from Bioquest Alliance, who has a recycling solution for waste management. Ben, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Lou.
I was eager to have you on the show, first because I wanted to educate myself more on the recycling progress and share it with my viewers, but plus we can all agree that it's a much needed and incredible breakthrough.
Yes, absolutely.
For people like myself who are not in your industry, what I'd like to get from you is to explain to us a little bit more so we can understand what the process is and what you do.
Actually, we're a company who combines different technologies from different countries and different companies into one company, transforming waste from plastics and biomass into biofuels and other raw materials.
So what exactly, can you explain what biomass is and biofuel, or the raw materials that you're describing?
Biomass is basically all the organic waste we have, such as foods, manure, sewage. That's all biomass. It's organic waste. We're turning those into ethanol, methanol, and hydrogen. And on the other side, we take plastics. Plastics today being almost 20% of all the waste, which is a lot. And we can take any type of plastic and transform those into biofuels and other raw materials, such as carbon, for instance.
So you basically have created an economical method to transform plastics and organic mass, like you said, into fuel and energy. How do you do that? What's the process?
Yeah, indeed. What we use is pyrolysis, and some people might know pyrolysis. It's a complicated technical term. What we do is we heat up the materials, the plastic, in a enclosed area so that no oxygen can reach it. When we heat it up, normally if you would heat plastic up in a free environment, it will burn. That's because it bonds with oxygen.
It would melt.
But it will melt and burn.
Okay.
What we do is we enclose that so no oxygen can reach it. So in an enclosed environment, we heat it up so that it decomposes into diesel, naphtha, paraffin, and carbon in a complete, no emission, complete green ecological way. So it's ideal. We can take any sort of plastic and transform that into fuels.
Into fuels, just because of the process of how you do it.
Yes, those fuels are then being used to either create new energies or just to use them in the industry, such as generators or marines.
That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It also prevents from new fuel to having to be drilled because we have it right there. You don't have to drill and refine existing oil.
Right, which eliminates a lot of the environmental problems that we have.
Exactly, yes.
Wow. Can you explain how waste management currently operates?
It depends a bit on the region. And now in the Western world, we're typically used to our waste being collected and then it goes away. What happens then is typically it'll end up in landfills or it'll be incinerated, both putting a high pressure and a burden on the environment.
Totally. I wouldn't know this. This is why I'm asking. Landfills, where are they?
Oh, landfills are everywhere. They're in the United States, but a lot of the waste is being transported and being shipped to other countries. A lot of them ends up in Africa, where, for instance, for one, they don't have collection. In a lot of countries, they don't even collect their own waste. Now they're taking in also foreign waste.
Wow. So what is that doing to that country?
It's abhorrent. I don't know if you've been there, but you can see plastic just flowing in the streets, in the cities, in the streams, at beaches. It's terrible, really, because it are such pristine environments which are now burdened with all the plastic that just lingers there.
Very sad. And I mean, the toxicities that it creates for the communities there.
Yep, and even more, even other plastic will decompose in microplastics, which you can't even recover. So the longer it lasts, the bigger the burden on nature and on our own environment.
So is recycling plastics being practiced around the world, and by whom?
Not really.
It's
On
not,
average,
right?
the whole world, on average, 5% of all the waste is being recycled.
It's unbelievable that this isn't something that's mandatory everywhere. It's very sad. So it's
Yeah,
on a high agenda for recycling.
exactly. Up to today, 8 billion tons of plastic have been generated, have been created up to today, of which close to none has been recycled. Yeah,
And
there's small initiatives, but they're just a drop in the ocean, so to speak.
do you know how much waste is generated per day by any chance?
Yeah,
By the
yes.
entire world
It's entire world. It's a it's a horrible number. It's 250 million tons per day.
per day?
That's each day. 20% of that is plastic, so 50 million tons plastic per day is being created.
How much can you get rid of a day?
One typical installation, an economically viable installation, does 40 tons per day. But when we can scale that up to any number, basically,
Of course,
or add more factories.
that's an excellent number. What kind of impact would this have on the world, and who would benefit the most if more facilities were available?
I think at the end of it, everybody will benefit. In the nearest future, obviously, the people who are currently hurt the most are the weakest people, the people who are exposed, who don't have the means to go and live in a better area, who don't have waste collection. But at the end of the day, it ends up in the food chain, it ends up in the environment, it ends up in the oceans. We're all being impacted.
Yeah. Could there be a chance where plastic is no longer available for you to recycle? I mean, the way that you're able to get rid of it, what happens? And that would be a godsend. But what would happen? Could we run out of it?
Well, let's hope so. We can run out of it. Let's not forget we have a two-pronged business approach for now. We do plastic, but we also do biomass and organic waste. And while plastic is roughly 20% of the total waste heap, biomass and organic waste is 40%, is even double that. So there'll always be enough feedstock for us to survive. We're not concerned about that. And I sincerely hope that plastic goes away in the near future. So that's a sincere hope.
That's our goal.
Yeah, it's a goal. It's a goal. We're here to help with the plastic in the meantime.
I kind of want to get into the entrepreneur part of the project. My whole process of creating the show is to bridge investors with entrepreneurs who are making a wellness and sustainable impact and who are truly passionate about what they do. Are you looking for funding now, or are you funded?
Yes, we have several investments under the belt already. We are looking for more because obviously the more investments, the more installations we can install.
What's in the pipeline for you?
We have roughly 6 projects which are being built currently. Our vision is to have by 2025, 20 installations worldwide.
You said that you transform the biomass and all this waste into ethanol, methanol, and hydrogen. What is the difference, and would they replace current fuel?
Hydrogen is definitely currently the best candidate. Europe is investing a lot in that product, and it makes sense. It's highly energetical. There's a lot of it available. It's easy to carry. I think it's going to go a long way with hydrogen. That's definitely the direction to take. Ethanol and methanol, they're a bit more difficult to exploit. I think there's a better opportunity for ethanol and methanol when fuel cells mature a bit more.
Okay. Are you worried about any competitors coming on board? Are there any competitors?
We're not too concerned. It's a huge market. We're just scratching the surface. Let's hope there's like us coming and doing this, because at the end of the day, the real problem is the waste. The business opportunity is amply there.
Is this process that you have, is it already being done, or is it exclusive to you?
As I said, we're bringing different technologies together, and what we're doing is we're upscaling it. We're improving it such that it can be applied on a larger scale. The process itself has been running for 15 years in India already. It has been extensively proven in the lab. Hands down, this is technology that works.
Your constant innovation is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Excellent.
What we're also doing is with every installation, with every plant we're putting up, we're putting a research center at the very plant itself to stimulate local activity, local creativity, and have new ideas formed. Because there's much more problems to solve. And in that way, we're helping also the local community to scale up its own initiatives.
And how did you get into this? Is this your passion? Was this your industry?
It wasn't my industry at all, but it was a big concern of mine, and it's a really good question to ask. I just bumped into somebody in my network who was busy doing this, and they were looking for somebody who could run Africa for the business. I mean, I've had extensive knowledge on the continent, and it was of great concern to me, the whole waste problem. So we joined forces, and that's where we are.
Kudos to you. You're doing great things.
Okay, thanks.
What are the challenges to prove and de-risk the business? Are there any?
Yeah, of course, people wonder about technology. That's the one thing. I think we can prove that in a lab. We can prove it in existing installations. And the proof of it is that we are setting up 6 plants as we speak, so people trust it. The second part is of the de-risk. It takes a huge investment. As I said, it's $24 million per installation, roughly. But we can back that up with, it's backed up with physical assets and terrains and equipment. So 90% of that is covered by asset. So we have a holding structure and then different installations, and every installation is profitable in its own right.
And it's working.
And it's working, yes.
It's currently working. Excellent. So what would you say your next key milestones would be?
Over the next 5 years, Bioquest Alliance intends to have 10 installations operational.
What are the key top first and second benefits for each stakeholder?
We have an economic benefit of a fixed repayment. So it's a loan which we will pay back entirely. And over 10 years, you'll have 10 to 15% interest. On top of that, you'll get a negotiable share in each facility with the accompanying dividend payouts, obviously. So there's a lot of value coming back to you. So your investment comes back plus more.
I mean, when you have such a great opportunity to help the environment and get a profit out of it, I mean, come on, it's a win-win. All right, Ben, well, this has been such an informative and eye-opening discussion for sure. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and explain it to me so I can share it with all my viewers. You've given us hope to a solution to waste management around the globe.
And we're hoping to join forces to do this because it's really, really necessary. And I'm so happy I'm doing this.
I couldn't agree more, Ben, especially with everything that's going on in the world. My biggest fear is what our children are inheriting. So thank you. Thanks for all your efforts and congratulations.
Okay, thanks, Lou.
Right.
Thanks.
And thank you to our viewers for being here. Our mission at Buenos Finds is to give our viewers the opportunity to be exposed to amazing, game-changing companies who are doing good by you and the environment. Thank you for being here.